with God. Connect with God. I see some persons, and I notice it becoming common among us Seventh-day Adventists. And I ask myself the question, I'm not telling you don't do it yet. Maybe you don't reach that level yet. But I ask myself the question, when did that prayer become a prayer? So I see sometimes even some of our senior ministers writing their prayer. Have you ever seen persons write their prayer? In the Adventist church I'm talking about. We say prayer is talking to God from your heart. So if you write your prayer since last night, I have to do today. When did it become the prayer? When you say it or when you write it? I know the Lord taught us the model prayer. Pastor, welcome. I know the Lord taught us the model prayer. After this man I pray. But I can see if I am told I have to pray for divine service tomorrow or for Sabbath school, I can see my, again, but let me just not put it this way. Your relationship with God is what brings you today. Yeah. So I'm going back to relationship. When you have a relationship with God and you have to pray in Sabbath school, you don't need to have to write your prayer since last week. Because you're praying from the heart. You're not praying to impress people. You are praying to God. So as you grow, listen to me. Maybe it things as processes. But the point I'm getting to is move yourself in a relationship to God where you no longer have to write your prayer, but you speak to God from the heart. When we talk about the relationship, and young people walk with me here. You have some young people, some. Boy, they're sending you all kind of nice code. Young ladies are talking to some men. Any young ladies in the church sing? They send you all kind of nice message on WhatsApp. But when they meet you face to face, any of you ever experienced that, ladies? I mean, if the guys in church, I don't say anything. But sometimes they send you all the nice messages. But when they meet you face to face, so you have to develop a relationship with God. When you meet God in His presence, you flow with the Lord. So develop that relationship. Trust prayer is trusting in God, releasing your faith in Him. You release your faith in God, you trust Him, and you release that faith in God. And you leave it there. I'm not there yet. Right? Because prayer could be one simple phrase. That man went to the temple, two of them were in there. One was saying all kind of things, and the other one just smote his chest, bowed his head, and he said, Lord, be merciful to me, a sin. And the Lord asked, which one of them, I'm paraphrasing, went away justified? Was it the one that said, I paid me tithes, that was reaching church early, that was play the keyboard, that was spiritual? But the one that smote. So you see, it is your relationship with God and what we tell Him from the heart. Sometimes the longer you stay in a relationship, it's like, when you just start to, I'm going to use something here. There comes a point in time, and I'm using again family relationship, husband and wife or parents and children. After a while, in your relationship, are you talking almost every day because you're building a relationship? Anybody know what I'm talking about? When are you quoting? Or when you used to quote? You're talking, you want to see every day, and you're talking after, you're calling on the phone, you're visiting, are you talking? And your parents saying, what do you always have to talk about? When you just start your thing with God, you're talking with God everything you want to do, you're telling God. But as you begin to move in your relationship with God, right, you come into processes. Now you sometimes find yourself with specific different kind of prayer. We will come to that day in a while. So there's different type of prayers. You move in a relationship with God, and so you handle it differently. All right, but prayer could be simple. Just, Lord, take care of that. Watch that. A friend of ours said one day in church that in those days transport was an issue. And he came from class late the evening, and he's coming down GDSS Hill. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Over the gas station. And it was late, and he's coming St. David's, and you know there was no buses at that point in time. And as he's running, come down the hill, he hear a vehicle coming across. But he realized he would not have to get to the road in time. And he said, oh Lord, you know in desperation. Because Lord, if I don't get that right. And he heard the vehicle screech the brakes. And he stopped. When he run across, say God, the cinema is there around by Priest, right? The gap from the. And the guy said, sorry, I didn't see you, but I see you late when you flogged me down. And he said he did not flog the vehicle. But he prayed. You see, we become so thin that we figure we have to. Those things have their place. But he said just God, you know. And the guy thought he was flogging him for a ride. So the guy apologized. So he got a record and the black vehicle right up to St. David's. But that was answered prayer. But for somebody, you may not think it was a prayer. Right? Sister John and then Sister here. Yes. And then Elder Rennie.
Based on what you said about telling God about something once and leaving it there, how does that tie into the story in the Bible with the widow and the unjust judge? The fact that she had a need and she brought it before the judge, and the judge said, well, I'm going to grant you because you constantly brought I know that request, and then he compared that with God. So how does that tie into
right, so let me ask you this. Let me ask us this. You think if we constantly going to God every day for something and God see no good for us, you think God will give us and we can stand it back? We sometimes stand the bad consequences of it.
No, but we have to be aware that he said what we ask, if it's according to his will, he going to do.
So that's what I'm saying. Your relationship with God, there are certain things you leave it at the foot of God and you leave it there. There are some things you might want to keep constantly going to God. But what happens is that we get stuck sometimes just praying over the same thing when there's other things that we also need to be praying over. So as you move your relationship with God, don't be, yes, at times you may want to pray more than once. But there are certain things you have to just do it and you claim it and you believe it and you leave it there with the Lord. So you could say to somebody, listen, sister, listen, this is already in God's hand. When you have that relationship with God, if every day you keep telling, telling your husband, listen, you need to fix that door, you have to fix that door, you have to fix that door. He's human being. One day you go get vexed and go fed up and you fix it. But God will not get just fed up and do it for us because you want to please us.